afternoon. This is Axel Braun.
Hello, Axel Braun. You are on the Jim and Them show. Welcome to the show, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I would say that right now at this moment, you are the king of porn parody.
Well, thank you. I'm flattered. It is probably true.
Oh, so you're the self-proclaimed king of porn parody now.
I am now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I just proclaimed it.
Now, but you've been making films since what, like 1990?
Yeah.
Now, but it hasn't always been the parody. How did the parody come into play?
The parody, I like to give credit to Will Ryder, who's a fellow director and a friend, and parodies have always been part of the porn. They went in waves. At some point in the 80s there were some parodies, and then in the late 90s there were some parodies, and then every few years it becomes a trend, but never as strong as the last one. Probably because before the last wave of porn parodies, porn was a much healthier business. DVD, VHS sales and DVD sales had not been, fucked by internet and illegal downloads. So, it was different. Now that Gonzo is available just about everywhere, it's about, it's about crossing to a different demographic, and that's why the parodies, they appeal to not only to people that want to masturbate to porn, but also to people who want to.
You don't worry, you're talking to three of us.
Right, exactly. But also appeal to people who are fans of the original show and want to have a laugh with their friends, or they want to, collect it for whatever reason. So that's what the parodies, this last wave of parody, has done. It is different from before. And Will Ryder is the one who just brought it back a few years ago. He did a parody of Britney Spears, which he called Britney Rears. And that kind of started the whole trend of parodies, and he did the Bewitched and some other of those old TV shows. And I was asked right away to shoot parodies, but I just didn't really want to get into it. I like doing original features. I like doing guns. I was not willing unless they let me do something that I really liked. And when they did allow me to do my first parody, which was Happy Days, I said, okay, then I'll do it. And that was incredibly successful. And right after that, I pitched them Star Trek, and that was a huge success too. So I started getting to the fact that they just basically they allowed me to do whatever parodies I wanted, and then became interesting for me because I could do things that were like childhood wet dreams. So it became a lot of fun, and and that's about it. So I've been shooting the movies that I wanted to shoot. I've been having fun with them, and the more complicated, the more difficult, the more fun. So when I did Batman XXX, that became the highest selling parodies until my Star Wars came out, and that is now the highest selling parody. The highest selling adult movie of all time, actually.
Now, these properties that you do, you would consider yourself a fan then?
I'm a fan of everything I shoot. There's not a single parody that I've shot that I was not a fan of, where I was not a fan of the original, the source material.
Now, is your studio ever like, oh, Axel, we don't need these details. Just get the dick in the vagina. So we don't want to spend money on costumes.
No, it just doesn't happen because my self-proclaimed legendary attention to detail.
Well, that is your thing. Your attention to details is insane. That's what got us to notice you at first, is we saw the trailer for the Star Trek, and we were like, dude, this just looks like a fan film. It looks awesome.
Exactly. It is a fan film that, that has sex in it, but that's what it is, and that's why it works. It's the truth. There's so many, right now the market is so saturated with 1 million porn parodies. There's a reason why mine sell this much and the other ones don't, because of exactly what you said. It's a fan work, and it's, and every detail has to be perfect. I'm starting to shoot James Bond, and aside from the fact that I collect Rolex watches, but I went and found the original Rolex Submariner that Sean Connery wore in Goldfinger. So
that's fucking awesome.
Up, I watched them. That watch, there's a close-up that lasts about probably 3.5 seconds from the moment you see the wrist going up to where he checks the watch and goes back. that shot probably cost more than a couple of movies. But I mean, I collect them, so that's fine. But I went and looked specifically for that because I wanted that. So,
that's a pretty sweet hobby to tell chicks. Oh, I just collect Rolex watches.
Trust me, chicks don't really know.
Now, have you run into issues with, say, like George Lucas, and he's like, hey, we don't want you making this Star Wars porn parody, or that looks too much alike, whatever. Like, what loopholes do you have to jump through, or is it just fair use you're covered under parody law?
I haven't, oddly enough, I haven't had anything ever, knock on wood, happen to me. But the truth is that there's a specific parody law in place that protects us, and trust me, between myself and Vivid and Hustler and the companies that I deal with, we all have a team of lawyers. I have a team of lawyers who just every day looked at every single thing I write before I shoot it, after I shoot it, when I edit. I mean, it's nonstop. So we are well within the guidelines of what the parody law is. And I mean, let's not kid ourselves. The fact that they look so much like the originals, I wish. They look really good for being porn movies, but I don't have the budgets that mainstream movies have. So obviously, it's I like to get certain details really well, like in the Dark Knight XXX, which just came out today. My costumes, I mean, the whole buzz has been that my Batman costume is amazing. I mean, it really is fucking amazing. I just wanted to be the best Batman costume in the world, and that's what I got. I got a recreation of the Arkham City costume, and it is fucking so cool. Unbelievable. Of course, it got destroyed throughout shooting the movie, especially the sex.
You come all over us. This is a really expensive suit that we came all over.
Yeah, but that's what got the fans, because this is like me going, okay, I'm a Batman fan. This is the costume that I would have wanted to see. Honestly, I don't like the Dark Knight. The mainstream movie costume looks like a robot. It looks like what they did in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man with the Green Goblin. What the fuck was that?
Dude, you're the man, Axel Braun.
Armor, man. Come on, dude. So I just went.
It is.
And I just wanted to have a really fucking amazing costume, and that's what I did. And it worked.
It's kind of exciting, actually, hearing you. You're really excited about getting to make this look cool.
In our heads, we had decided who you were. We saw the things you released, and we're like, okay, he likes this stuff, and he just happens to make porn, and like porn is his way to like make the coolest, fucking sickest fan films of all time, and he cares about this stuff. But we're like, maybe he doesn't, but no, you are. You're the right kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, wait until you see. I'm finishing the special effects as we speak. For
special effects. No one's ever said that in a porn before.
I've got. Oh, dude, these special effects are 4 months. 4 months of work. And Superman versus Spider-Man. This is like out of a 1976 comic book, which I still own, and I bought in 1976. I have in my house. And man, this is fucking unbelievable, man. I got just to do Doc Ock, the tentacles, the arms. That's like almost 2.5 months just for that, and it's really, really, really good.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. It's awesome. So I can't wait. That is coming out, I think, in October or November, something like that. But James Bond is gonna come out in November. I think November 7th, the day that the Skyfall comes out.
And you're gonna follow up your Star Wars, correct?
Yeah, we're shooting the 2 sequels back to back. We'll release them probably a year apart, but it makes sense to shoot them back to back for and then I'm gonna do a sequel to my Batman XXX, the parody of the '60s TV show. So yeah.
Well, we saw that one. That was another one of the trailers. We were really impressed.
Yeah.
Dude, you're so
Ain't
fucking.
that awesome?
Your details, like the dude you got to play porn star Joker, looks just like the fucking old Joker. I thought it was that dude. I thought you were like intersecting clips from the old show.
I swear to God, since when I was a kid, I was so into it. I grew up in Italy, so we didn't have the Batman TV show. My dad had traveled, to the United States and brought me back one of those Viewmaster, those 3D things that you looked into it with a little disc and you go through it, and had one of Batman. It was from the episode The Perfect Crime with Julie Newmar playing Catwoman, and I was so completely blown away, and I still have it. I still have that episode. I still have the Viewmaster from when I was a kid. Not that I'm a hoarder or anything, but I just kept it because it was just one of those really amazing things. And and it always, when I was watching the Batman TV show, it's like, what the fuck is going on with the Joker? He looks like he has like mustache and under.
No,
under
I
the
bring
face.
that up when we watched that trailer. I was like, dude, he did the makeup over the mustache. Like he remembers that.
I had the guy grow the fucking mustache.
Oh,
to put
that's
makeup
so
over it.
awesome.
You know what I mean?
That's so fucking cool.
And again, there's only a few people who will notice this, but the ones who do are like, they'll understand what the fuck I'm going for.
Oh, we love it over here.
Put some cheap wigs on people and shoot something just to make a buck. You know what I mean?
Now, when you're planning these out, though, and you're looking into detail, you're getting the costumes right, you're nailing the characters. Do you ever run into an issue where you're like, oh, where do we got to put a fuck scene now? Like, you got to shoehorn like a fuck scene somewhere, and you ever like?
No,
just...
I mean, listen, I'm actually that's not the difficult part. The difficult part is that when you're on the day of the shoot and one of the people you booked for some reason flakes or doesn't show up because something happened, or they got drunk the night before, or the test came out dirty and they have what I mean, chlamydia, whatever. All sorts of things happen in porn, and with something like this, it's so important. I have shut down production several times on several movies because somebody that I needed that day, they were not available for whatever reason. They missed a plane from somewhere. I will not, cast somebody else just to put the movie together. I've done it. I don't care. I've postponed production many times. I postponed production. One of my actors for the Batman sequel got pregnant, and I had to wait, 9 months, and then wait for it. These things happen. It's
Dude, that's awesome. I love your dedication, Axel.
Yeah, you have a lot of fucking dedication. You will not fuck with your craft.
It's for us, the fans.
I will not fuck with my craft, man.
I was hoping you were going to say she got pregnant and you had to wait 3 weeks or something. Clean that out. And back on set.
Don't worry, though. Our guests get chlamydia and cancel all the time, too, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah. I know, right? That fucking sucks, man.
Now, you've been making porn for like 20 years now. Now, do you get sick of dicks, pussies, and assholes?
Of dicks, sure. No, man. Let me tell you, there's a part of you when you do something for such a long time that is desensitized. I'm kind of immune to all that. To me, when I shoot a sex scene, I see how to make it look pretty and how to frame it in a certain way. I don't see that there's nothing. I don't get turned on by shooting my sex scene. I don't get turned on by porn in general. I don't watch porn. You know what I mean? It's one of those things you just don't. You love chocolate. You go work for a chocolate factory. You're not gonna crave chocolate anymore. So that's about it. But
Now, so I mean, you always hear the stories that you run in. Well, except maybe in these days now that you have pharmaceuticals, you don't run into like the soft dick factor where it's like, come on, guy.
Yeah, James Bond can't get hard today.
It's very rare. I mean, chemical help has been really, really good to this industry, so it's very rare that it happens. But, sometimes it does happen, and sometimes, an actor struggles through a scene for whatever reason, But it's, like you said, since, when I started, 20 years ago, they still had fluffers on set. And now you have a blue pill.
Now, I looked a little into you, and your hands are insured. Is this still a thing?
God, it only is still a thing because my premium doesn't affect my life insurance and everything else that I have. But when I did get it, it was a publicity stunt that I did because, but the truth is that this guy approached me, was an insurance agent that I met at a trade show, and he had insured Rocco Siffredi's dick for $1 million or something like that. And he told me, you should insure your hands because at the time I was making all these squirting movies. And I go, yeah, sure, whatever. No, really, and it didn't cost that much because I already had, life insurance and I had injury and all whatever other insurance I had. So it was not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Maybe like maybe $800 more a year. It was worth the press release. But I did it, and then it just stayed there. So yeah, they're still insured. I think it's $2 million each hand, so it's $400,000 a finger. And trust me, I mean, if you think about it, the pinky of your left hand is really not that important in life. So,
hey, yeah, you want us to find you in a dark alley if you're short on rent payment or something.
We'll
help you out.
So
you know what I mean?
You did that a lot. You could make everybody squirt. I guess that was a real thing. Can you, for our listeners, can you tell everybody the secret to making all these girls squirt?
You know, it's not really a secret. You just gotta be dedicated. You know what I mean? It's about attention.
It's a lot of hard
detail.
work. Yeah.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same.
The same dedication that I apply to my parodies was applied to that.
Getting Miss Marvel's costume perfect and making a girl spray all over the wall are kind of the same thing.
The squirting thing is actually a ritual in a tribe in the south of Africa. The Batoro tribe have a ritual that's called Kachapati. In their language, means squirt on the wall.
You're so fucking deep.
It's amazing. And every woman who is about to get married, and usually they do it when they're like 13 or 14, and
hot.
It's all in the same tribe. They have to, before they can be granted the privilege of getting married, they have to sit on this stool that is about a 3-foot distance from a wall, and the older women in the village, they play with their vagina until they make her squirt, and she has to squirt and hit the wall, otherwise she can't get married. Isn't that amazing?
What the fuck?
I would have been like, oops, I didn't do it well, because I'm going to have to do it a couple more times.
It's a fabulous world out there.
I know, man. They're so ahead of us. It's ridiculous.
They've really figured it out over there.
But now, would you still step up to the challenge of making any woman squirt?
Man, my squirting days are over. You know, I lost.
It's a sad statement.
I lost interest when I made squirting so popular that, you know, after I started making these movies, all of a sudden, a year later, the AVN Awards, they had a new category for best squirting movie and best squirting this and best squirting that. And then what happened is that the genre became so popular in the industry that every girl basically needed to be able to squirt, and since it's not really about the girl, it's about the hand of the guy, they just started figuring out, you know what, I'm going to drink 2 gallons of water, and I'm going to pee clear, and it's going to look like squirt. So it became fake, and I just got turned off by the whole thing.
We were actually curious about that. We were talking about that like 2 weeks ago. Like, I wonder how much of it's real and fake. You just busted the doors wide open.
All the one I did was real, not for any other reasons, because my whole point was to, you know, my Squirting 101 series was all about teaching people how to make girls squirt. Why the fuck would I teach them how to make a girl pee? That makes no sense to me. You know? It was like a personal mission, so I just made sure. We actually followed the girls from the moment they walked through the door. We follow them to the bathroom. We make them pee in front of us, and without cutting, we go back to the room where this happens, so people can be sure that bladder is empty and there's nothing there. So, you know,
it's like a magic trick. We're like, we're not going to cut, not even once.
True. That is true. And that's why it's the same concept that goes with the attention detail in the parodies. People who watch it know that there's no bullshit here. This is done for, I'm not selling them, you know, hot air.
That's your life, man. No bullshit. Seems like everything you do is no bullshit.
No bullshit.
I really admire that he was disenfranchised with the whole squirting.
Yeah,
like,
I love that got old to you. I would love if that got old to me.
I'm over it. Over it.
And going back to your detail, can I say I was a little let down when Flash Thompson had sex with both Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane? I was a little bummed out about that. I was like, damn, the bully gets both chicks, and Spider-Man's out doing whatever he's doing, saving the city like a chump.
Yeah.
I know, right? I know. Listen, it's the same reason why you just certain things you just want them to happen in a certain way. You know what I mean? If you think about it, in the comics, you know, Flash was the bully, but then it always, you know, something happens and, you know, he gets punished for being a bully. I always thought that Flash was misunderstood. It was, deep down, was a good guy. As a matter of fact, later in the years, they become best friends.
Dude, you know your shit, Axel.
I know my
impressive.
shit, believe me. You know, here's what happened. My father was really good friends with the Italian distributor of all Marvel and DC comics. And as a kid, I always had, like, full collection of all these comics, 2 of them, one to read and one to just keep. So I have full collection from a million years ago of every single Marvel and DC comic ever made.
That's
so
badass.
That is pretty sick.
Not only did your dad hook you up with like the porn industry, he hooked you up with fucking double of every comic. That's fucking badass.
See what I mean?
Now, do you have any desire to make a non-sexual film?
You know, listen, it's not really about desire. in 23 years, at some point, especially in the past maybe 10 years, with the features and the success of certain movies, I've been offered opportunities to do things. But listen, if I decided to make a mainstream movie, that would mean I stop whatever I'm doing here. So I stop making 40 movies a year in porn, and I go and make one mainstream movie. Well, let me tell you something. I make more money making 40 porn movies a year than one mainstream, and a lot more. So why would I stop what I'm doing and leave a position where I'm at the top of my game and at a certain level in the industry? There's a long line behind me waiting to take my place. It doesn't make sense financially for me right now. So when I don't make any more money in porn, when nobody wants me to shoot anything anymore, then if I have an opportunity, or if I want to, finance my own movie, I'll do a mainstream movie if I have something to say. But I don't have the aspiration to be a mainstream director or be a, you know what I mean? I just,
what if,
I don't know.
What if Pixar comes knocking?
I'll go sweep the floors at Pixar.
When you're filming a porn and you're watching an actual sex scene, is there ever something that the girl or the guy is doing where you're like, this fucking guy? I mean, are you serious right now? Like, what is your biggest pet peeve in a sex scene that a guy or a girl does?
Ah, man. I got to tell you, one of the biggest pet peeves that I have is when they don't kiss. And because it's so porn, when, sex happens and people don't kiss, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't think that sex in real life ever, at least not in my world, ever starts without kissing. So, the fact that all of a sudden you're talking and a girl unzips your pen and sucks your dick. Before that, it's a little too porn. Or when they kiss, like, sitting, like 3 feet away with their tongues out, and, it just doesn't make any sense for me. So I like to see kissing in my movies.
Wow, you really are romantic. Yeah. I mean,
I am.
jeez.
See what I mean?
Do you ever have to tell a guy to tone it down, or like a girl to tone it down with their like phony moans or whatever? Like, come on, like take it back just a little bit.
All the time. I tell them beforehand. People who work for me always get a little speech before the scenes, and the ones I like to use, people that I'm comfortable with and people that I've worked with before. I mean, in case in point, I don't know, Andy Sandemus works for me a lot, and a lot of the guys work for me a lot. But the fact is that with my parodies, I don't cross. I don't mess with the universes. So anybody who's played a character in one of my Marvel parodies will not play a different character in another Marvel parody. So
that is
they
great.
can play somebody else in a DC, but they will not. So I run out of talent very quickly. So there's not many repeaters. So,
well, you said after you started getting some successes, they started letting you make tons of stuff. Is there something that you still have your eye on that maybe they haven't let you, or you haven't been able to get around to? Like something you're like, I want to fucking make this, but you haven't been able to?
I mean, my schedule until, I think it's May 2016. It's full of shit to shoot. So
oh, wow.
Whatever I haven't shot, it's already in the works and it's getting shot. It's just a matter, sometimes you got to abandon a project for a little bit for whatever reason. Like the girl gets pregnant, I'm not going to sit here and wait. I'm going to push this to later and move something up. So it's always, but there's tons of stuff. I got some really, really exciting stuff. I don't like advertising too much because every time I announce something, and I don't get to it in 6 months, somebody else shoots it.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. It really sucks, believe me, because, I got to tell you, there's some movies that, and I hate when they shoot them, and they shoot them like shit. I don't care. Somebody shoot them better than me. I'm a fan, man. I'm going to love it. I'm going to say, wow, this is awesome. But when they shoot crap and they steal an idea that I had already stolen from somebody else, just, let me rip off people. Don't rip off my rip off.
Yeah, I hate when crap's in porn, too. It's disgusting. I don't want to masturbate to that.
No, never, ever, ever.
Before we finish up, give us the breakdown on your Dark Knight Rises, because it looks like you got Poison Ivy in there. It looks like you got some Killing Joke references in there.
I got some Killing Joke reference. I got I got Catwoman, the Catwoman from the comics, so the
goggles and stuff.
Comics, yeah, goggles, and that's Aiden Ashley, and she does her first boy-girl scene ever in this movie, and it's terrific. And then I have Bane, And then I have Kathy Kane, who was played by Andy Sandemus. And then I have, Brendan Miller, the guy who plays the Joker, is amazing. What else do I have? I have the Joker, I have Bane. It's really, really cool.
And that's it's available, streaming online or DVD?
Streaming online came out, I think, 10 days ago, and today is available in stores.
Well, that's great.
Anything else you wanna tell people to go check out of yours, like that they can get right now?
God, they can still get the Avengers XXX, came out a couple months ago. They can get Star Wars XXX, which is ridiculous. Like, really ridiculous. And, no, that's about it. I'm shooting, next week I'm shooting a parody of The Expendables.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Yeah. And
is that a gay one? Is it?
Yeah, is it gay?
Not a gay one. No, they're all girls in my movie.
Oh, nice.
Smart move. A lot of big stars.
It's the first adult movie ever shot in 4D.
Oh, what's the fourth dimension?
I can't tell.
I hope it's not smell.
He
Please
can't
tell me it's
tell.
not smell, Axel.
I can't tell you, but I'll send you a DVD as soon as they're out.
Hey, Axel Braun, you were great. Hope to have you on the show again sometime.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Anytime.
You're a super cool dude. I'm glad you turned out like we thought you were and not how we assumed you might be.
And not like the asshole you thought I was.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anytime, okay?
All right.
Yep.
Thanks a
Later.
lot, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye.
For having me. Bye-bye.
Bye.
For having me. Bye-bye.
Bye.
For having me.